But there's another story that came out not too long ago. But Paige here. This person's got it all together. Had some interesting things to say. Transgender actor Elliot Page, coming from Breitbart, is blasting Hollywood producers who feel that queer films are not movies for mainstream. Speaking at the stage at BFI Flair, London's gay film festival, Page insisted that gay films can't be niche because a recent survey claimed that 30% of American youth identify as, I'm not about to say this alphabet soup shit.
Thank you.
Page says, I hate that I have to say that I feel lucky because it should not be the case and we should have lots of trans actors. Is the position that they have. Preferred pronouns are now he, him, and they, them. And Page self-identifies as non-pop. Wait a minute. Which one is it?
Surprise, motherfucker.
Page also reportedly insisted that acting awards need to be gender neutral. You don't want that. Trust me. But I think that's a very, very important thing to note. Is this bit right here. Recent survey claiming that 30% of American youth identify as such. I don't see how anybody can look at that and think that's a good thing. And by that, I mean, clearly that data does not, let me actually be even clear. Clearly that data is not something that was replicated in years past or generations past. What changed to where so many people of the youth identify as this alphabet crap? And then does that have anything to do, and I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there trying to kind of use my context clues, with a lot of the crap that's getting pushed on a lot of these youngsters. And why is it that they are so hell-bent? I mean, even in Florida, they unfortunately miscategorized a bill that basically prevented people teaching this weird stuff to kindergartners. They called it the Don't Say Gay bill. They wrongfully called it that just because. And remember, we were covering stories of some gay teacher saying that they feel threatened in Florida because they fear that they might lose their job or something of that nature because they can't tell. They said they're speaking as if they own the children that there's a public school, of course, that they own the children. Go watch that video that I did. I can't remember the name. But they act like they own these children, and they were saying that with their children, they want to be able to talk about maybe what them and their spouse did over the fucking weekend. What the hell does that have to do with you teaching children?
Not a damn thing.
But I'm just putting two and two together. Maybe that has something to do with it. And then maybe they are looking to influence them. Nonetheless, let's get the bull crap aside. It's a niche audience. A very, 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 very niche audience. And if you want to be a reasonable person, you should be able to at least understand that perhaps the vast majority of the world does not identify as such. And therefore, trying to force them in the mainstream may have an opposite effect. You know, you get people even talking about this now. They can't get away from that stuff. In any form of media, it feels like they have to be as up and in your face as humanly possible. And it doesn't work economically for sure. We know that much. But logically, just think about that. You want something, you say that something isn't niche despite it representing such a small minority of people. And it is a divisive topic for good reason, for sure. But I find that intriguing when a trans actress thing would dare to say that, well, it shouldn't be niche, and they point to the youth as we're having this conversation about what you're trying to pump into the heads of the youth. I just find that very intriguing, very interesting, if I might add. I'm just saying. That's just me. And then we get gaslit, right? We get gaslit. That's what happens. They say, well, you're crazy. They're not coming for your kids.
We'll convert your children. We're coming for your children.
Everything is fine, right? It's that old cycle. It was never happening. And then you end up on from it never was happening to, yeah, it's happening and it's good that it's happening. Find that very, very interesting, huh? That textbook gaslighting.
Well, he's right.
They're not coming for your kids. And then, if nothing else, I'm impressed by the left and how they are able to control language. That to me is uber impressive. How they're able to just be like, yeah, man, we're banning books. Like they're saying that it's a negative thing that's happening, that books are being banned, and how dare you? And then you go look a little deeper and you find out, yeah, they just don't want you selling books or pushing books that are trying to teach youngsters about like oral sex and shit. And you're like, so you're going to conflate that with book burning? And this is the problem. And this goes for a lot of different things out there in the world, man. Unfortunately, a lot of people will not do the research for themselves. And that's how a lot of stuff spreads. It's that it's not going to be vetted. And if they do bring it up, they're going to be omitting information purposely, right? So that they don't give you the full scope of what's happening. So now you have a bunch of people. It's like don't say gay bill thing. It's like they ran with that. No, and so many people, you probably talked with people when that whole parental rights and education bill was a thing. And you probably remember maybe even locally to you having some conversations with people, and their assessment of it is just regurgitating some shit that they heard, which was fundamentally incorrect. Again, either it was just a flat out lie, or they were just purposely, they were led to believe something, and the person, group of people, news network, whatever, that was pumping this garbage into their heads was purposely omitting information. So they didn't understand the full scope of it, but they ran with this narrative. And that's all manipulative jackasses want, right? That they do that shit on purpose. It ain't about telling the truth. That's that they have no desire to do that. It's not about providing you with context or anything. No, they will zero in on whatever narrative they need to be true, with the understanding that you're going to believe it and you're going to run with it, especially if it comes from some like sort of agency that you find to be holding some position of institutional power. Like what happened with the COVID shit. If it came from Fauci, well, it must be true because I am the science, says Fauci, Lord Fauci.
I represent science.
Yes, Satan? Oh, I'm sorry, sir. You sounded like someone else.
Same thing. Provide the context? No. Why do that? Why would they do that? That doesn't help them. That doesn't assist them in the narrative that they're trying to perpetuate. Never underestimate, especially in this day and age, man, the ability for people to just make shit up. Thanks for watching. Right now, the Rippaverse is in the middle of our latest campaign, Yaira #1, which was written by the Saskas. Head over to Rippaverse.com, pre-order, and check out our first live-action trailer and the latest Rippaverse Studios production, Y'all Be Easy.